Hey, brothers and sisters, I'm gonna, God willing, share something that touches your heart and just gives you a new and wonderful perspective on something that maybe you've seen before but didn't ever look at it from this lens or perspective. And I first want to just say for whoever this is for that God willing, it takes root and prospers in the soil that it's being planted in. And for those who are just like, I'm tired and frustrated, I don't want to hear anything regards to Christ, and maybe just, keep scrolling or whatever. If you've even stuck through this long of the video, I just suggest that you ask God to toil over your ground and your heart. I know it will hurt, the fire will hurt, the toiling will hurt. When the ground's hard, it's going to hurt to break it up. But it's for the best. It's kind of like, to keep it short and simple for those, it's kind of like the Matrix. Neo gets the revelation that nothing is what it seems, and then after he does, what does he want to do? He wants to go back to the old world, and then that's when he throws up and he kind of passes out, and he's like, nope, never mind, I don't want this. But after a little bit of time and chewing, he was like, no, I do want this. And I'm not only do I want this, I was built for this. The pain is worth it. Trust God, he'll use it. He's so good. He's so holy, I'm telling you. All right. Now, how and what I want to share is the beginning of the Bible, Adam and Eve. Okay. Many of us have read and heard, Eve eats of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. She got beguiled, deceived by the serpent. Then Adam foregoes it and eats. And so we get that process, and God comes looking for them. Adam and Eve are hiding, and the Lord's like, surely you didn't eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And Adam, in one perspective, completely throws Eve under the bus and just belittles her, like, she did it, the woman God you gave me. He's blaming God, kind of, right? That's one perspective to see easily. Now, what if I told you that the beauty of all this, of Eve and Adam, see, I want to show you the beauty of Eve. She was truly deceived and beguiled. See, the devil, the devil knew that Eve was not so, quote unquote, properly trained up in the knowing of the Lord's request for them to not eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Because when the devil had said to her, did God surely say that you'll die, to her, questioning her and trying to test her and see what she knows, she had said, surely we'll die if we eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. But she also said that if we even touch it, God never said anything about touching it. And once he realized that little glimpse of, oh, she's not as sharp as she needs to be, I can try to work with that, and I'll try to manipulate and deceive her. But let's look at it from a childlike faith. God says you won't enter the kingdom unless you have childlike faith. Don't forsake your childlike abilities and capabilities and fearlessness and love and boldness just for what's pure and good. I don't know, we do that, and I feel like that's straight from the devil for us to forsake our childlike mindsets. Because God even says, lean not to your understanding, but trust in God with all your heart. And then he furthermore says, knowledge puffeth up. So he's saying when you get a lot of knowledge, you start to get pride, thinking you don't need God. That's happened many a times. You can even look at Solomon, granted the wisdom, and the reason why God granted it is for the wisdom was for who? God's people. He wasn't asking for his own self. It's always been God looking out for his people. He loves his people. He really does. In 1 Corinthians, you should go read. You should read all of 1 Corinthians, but in chapter 9, he's talking about what God has done. He's became all things for all people so that he can win and save some. He's trying to save as many as he can. Now, bringing this all back to Adam and Eve. Eve has that childlike faith, and she's just truly tricked, like a little 4-year-old girl, wandering around, and some guy pulls up in a car and offers her some candy, like, hey, just get in the van, I got candy. She's like, oh, sweet, candy, just as pure as possible. Obviously, we know that that person's evil and wicked, trying to, abduct and kidnap and horrible things, right? We clearly get and understand that. But that's because we knew. But her at 4, or at that age, not understanding, she has no awareness of that. She's only seen pureness and innocence, and it's just goodness, right? She doesn't have that vigilance quite yet. How can you be mad at her? I'd be like your daughter getting got, and then you get her back. And after you get her back and she's went through traumatic things, you're pissed at her? No, that's not right. You're just grieved and broken that even happened to her. This is how it's happened in all of humanity. Your little girl got deceived and then taken advantage of. And everybody looks at God as some tyrant. He was grieved. In Genesis, it says, Genesis 6, it tells us he was grieved, he made humanity, mankind. He was grieved and saddened by the things of what occurred. Because it was all corrupted. But, anyhow. So she gets tricked. Sadly. Poor little Eve. But it's so cool because God's so beautiful. It's all so beautiful. She truly gets tricked. Stop being so harsh as on the ladies, on Eve's, and so on, and just woman. It's always harshness. It's so busted. Okay, anyhow. With that being said, now you have Adam. Adam knew very well and for certain what was happening and occurring. He wasn't fooled, he wasn't tricked, and he wasn't deceived. And furthermore, he wasn't a coward and or chump. He's actually the complete opposite. See, a lot of people look at Adam and they're like, man, he's weak. He wasn't the leader. He wasn't the leader. And he put himself under his wife or under his woman. Illegitimately. And that's why humanity fell. What if it was all foreshadowing of Jesus Christ? What if Adam loved Eve so much that he knew she was going into darkness and didn't want, therefore, them to be separated and him stay on the path that he knew was right, but yet her go in darkness, that he loved her so much that he willfully went and joined her to go into darkness because he did not want to be separated from her, nor her be on her own. So he willfully joined her in her endeavor and on the journey of going down that path. Is that not what 1 Corinthians talks about? Is that not the foreshadowing of Jesus? Is that not what he did, seeing us go into darkness and willfully coming into darkness with us? And then what? Also foreshadowing punishment. Adam got what? Punished. Did not Jesus get punished? Yet he came into darkness as well. The more you start to see it and you allow God to come into your heart, you'll see the love in all of this and how beautiful it's so beautiful. Y'all don't even know. I'm trying to tell y'all, the love in all of this is so beautiful. Adam saw she was going into darkness and willfully went and joined her in darkness for the sake of not being separated nor leaving her alone and protecting and being with her. And when God comes up and he's like, surely y'all didn't. He's like, what if it's not him trying to throw her under the bus, but him just stating the case of, she went and ate of it and I'm not leaving her, period. Is that not the same heart of the Father? I'll never leave you nor forsake you. You start the process. Maybe he was being the exact image of who? His Father, and representing exactly who God is and how God is with us when we go astray, when we're that 100 sheep. Does he not say he'll leave the 99 for the one? He'll go into the darkness for us. Does he not do that? Is that not what we're called to be? I'll prepare a table for you in the presence of your enemies. That, yeah, you're going into the darkness. Set your lamp on top of the lampstand so it may shine. Let your light shine so that the people can see, acknowledge it, and give glory to who? God. Everything's not as busted as you guys think. It's actually way more beautiful and awesome than you think. For those who want to really follow the Lord and know the Lord, ask God to break you so you can be remade. Ask God to put you in the fire so you can be tested. Ask God to reveal whatever it is that needs to be revealed to you in order for you to grow and prosper. Ask to be pruned. It's worth it. Ask to take the red pill and be willingly consistent upon taking the red pill even after the pain, and that you don't put your hands to the plow and look back, but rather that you plow and you plow with hope regardless of what it is, and that you have true hope, and that after you preach and after you hope, you yourself do everything that you said with pure hope and joy and excitement and gratitude, because you know the Father and you walk with the Father, and you know love never fails. Trust God, trust the process. I hope this is for whoever it was. God bless.